A solemn feeling flashed across Xiao Yan's heart when he saw Xiao and the first elder attack at the same time. One of these people was an intermediate one-star Do Sheng, while the other was an advanced one-star Do Sheng. They were terrifyingly strong after joining hands. Xiao Yan would end up finding himself facing a life-threatening danger if he underestimated their strengths. You two are really anxious. It is likely that everyone present knows just what the both of you are planning to do. Xiao Yan's body shook. He unleashed the King Kong glass body to its limit. His originally large body once again swelled until it reached a 99-foot peak. A bright golden light lingered over the surface of his body before gradually turning into a dark golden color. His golden skin shook as a faint thunderous roar shot out of his pores. Clan tattoo appear. Xiao Yan was dissatisfied despite having unleashed the King Kong glass body to its peak. His hands formed a seal and a mysterious clan tattoo swiftly appeared on his forehead. The moment the clan tattoo formed, Xiao Yan's aura wildly soared in front of the astounded eyes of Xiao and the First Elder. In the blink of an eye, he had become an advanced one-star Do Sheng. His aura was even a little stronger than that First Elder. What kind of secret technique has this fellow used? He is actually able to strengthen himself by 2 levels. Even some ordinary Tian-class secret techniques are unable to do this. The hearts of those two were like a stormy sea. There was an enormous gap between each level within the Do Sheng class. Yet Xiao Yan was able to instantly leap from the initial level to the advanced level. Such a powerful secret technique was extremely rare. Haha. Allow me to test just how powerful 2 Do Sheng are when combined. Xiao Yan laughed at the sky after sensing this vast and mighty strength that could control the world. His laughter was like thunder that reverberated across the sky. The blood within some of the weaker individuals churned after hearing this laughter. They quickly stepped back. Their blood was already churning despite the fact that Xiao Yan did not want to attack them. If Xiao Yan felt a murderous desire, just his laughter alone would be able to shatter the meridians of any Do Zone class expert. This might was truly something that only belonged to elite Do Shengs. Just a laugh alone could shatter one's soul. Arrogant. The First Elder furiously laughed. His hand turned completely black as a rich stench pounced over. Just a touch from the lethal poison on his hands would cause even an elite band Shang to suffer. Rumble. Xiao Yan did not withdraw. He faced the combined attacks of the First Elder and Xiao. Both of his hands were waved and a frightening wind was formed like a storm. His fists collided violently with the 2 individuals, 2 fists against 4 palms. Space itself collapsed each time they made contact. A frightening ripple shook the mountains within a 50-kilometer radius until they collapsed. Many 10,000-foot-wide pits also appeared on the ground. The destructive force from a fight between elite Do Shengs was mind-numbing. The elders and members from the 9 Serene deep-ground python tribe hurriedly pulled back after seeing the terrifying battle in the sky. Should we intervene? From the looks of it, that golden light person seems to be extremely powerful. Even the First Elder and Tribal Chief Xiao combined cannot gain an advantage against him. Do not be anxious. That person seems to be helping Tribal Chief Yao Ming. During these years, Xiao has basically turned the tribe into a dictatorship. He is far too forceful and cannot compare with Tribal Chief Yao Ming. It might be good for us if Tribal Chief Yao Ming returns to being the Tribal Chief. However, Tribal Chief Xiao has groomed many close aides during these years. Look at those fellows. They are already planning on secretly attacking Tribal Chief Yao Ming. Stop them. A group of extremely old elders gathered together and engaged in a private conversation. A moment later, many pairs of eyes were suddenly thrown toward a group that appeared slightly younger. Immediately, Do Chi surged out of their bodies. They whizzed forward in a flash and blocked that group that was ready to create trouble. Elder Ming, what are you planning to do? The tribal chief is in trouble. It is fine if you do not go and rescue him, yet you dare to stop us. What is your motive? Himph. A group of individuals from the younger generation actually dares to scream in front of this elderly self. Capture them. Yellow Spring Finger. Quiet Ghost Poison Claw. A huge energy finger once again descended from the sky. It was accompanied by an extremely dark and cold energy as it ruthlessly pressed toward Xiao. At the same time, that first elder also swiftly approached. His hand claw had formed a black viscous liquid. Even the air itself had been corroded into nothing as the liquid fell. Great Heaven Creation Palm. God Seal Skill. 5 seals combined. Xiao expression was unusually grave as these two wild attacks approached. His right hand was curled as an enormous black light sphere was formed above it. His left hand also formed numerous seals with lightning-like speed before 5 energy palms were swiftly formed. They merged together and turned into a crystallized palm. God Seal Skill, 5 seals combined, was the first time Xiao had merged all 5 seals together. Its strength was not weaker than the Great Heaven Creation Palm.
Bang bang.
Xiao right hand created the Great Heaven Creation Palm, while his left hand created the 5 seals combined. The both of them were unleashed together and collided with the enormous energy finger and the first elder's ghost claw. The entire area was silent as the collision occurred. An energy storm was suddenly formed all from the collision. The space within a 10,000-foot radius completely collapsed at this moment. All the mountain peaks were shattered into dust. Bam bam. Xiao, the golden light figure, staggered back in the sky while Yao Xiaotian and the first elder were both pushed back. The blood within their bodies churned as they looked at Xiao with some shock in their eyes. They were really unable to believe that Xiao was able to fight equally in a head-on collision with the two of them, using just his initial 1-star Dosheng strength. Damn it, just where did Yao Ming find such a helper? He is ridiculously powerful. Yao Xiaoyan's expression was extremely gloomy. His heart felt a vague unease. Xiaoyan's powerful strength had finally caused him to feel that the situation had become a little troublesome. The matter today would likely not be resolved as easily as he had imagined. Elder Ming, you bastards dare to attack the members of the tribe? Yao Xiaotian shifted his eyes. Suddenly, he saw Elder Ming's group, which had stopped all of his close aides. He immediately became extremely furious. Tribal Chief Xiaotian, this matter has not been fully investigated. Naturally, we cannot allow others to capture Tribal Chief Yao Ming. Elder Ming cried out. Bastard! Yao Xiaotian was so furious that his body began to tremble. He had not expected these old fellows to turn against him. Not only did they not lend him a hand, they had also become a hindrance. First Elder, what should we do now? Yao Xiaotian returned his eyes to the first elder as he asked in a dark voice. Back then, I had told you to get rid of all those old fellows, yet you insisted on keeping them. Now, you have allowed an enemy to grow. The first elder chided Yao Xiaotian. He also realized that saying this would not help the situation. He clenched his teeth and said, I will block this brat. You should find an opportunity to attack Yao Ming. These old fellows will not dare to do anything as long as we kill him. Yao Xiaotian had just nodded after hearing this when a dangerous laugh suddenly echoed. There is no need to find an opportunity. You can do it now. Yao Ming's clothes fluttered as he stood behind Xiao. His eyes were like sharp blades as they shot at Yao Xiaotian and the first elder. He ceased hiding at this moment. He lifted his foot and slowly walked forward. As he stepped forward, an aura that was even more powerful and frightening than anyone present surged out. 2-star Dosheng? Yao Xiaotian and the first elder's expression immediately turned pale after sensing the strength of this aura. Neither of them had expected Yao Ming to stronger instead of deteriorating, since he had been suppressed for so many years. He had actually soared from the Bansheng class back then to a 2-star Dosheng. He is indeed worthy of being tribal chief Yao Ming. This talent is many times greater than Yao Xiaotian. Elder Ming's group also revealed a wild joy in their eyes. They were magical beasts. Their training speed might not be comparable to a human, but they possessed extremely long lifespans. Within the magical beast world, spending a couple of 100 years to advance from the Bansheng class to a 2-star Dosheng was already quite fast. Brother Xiaoyan, Yao Ming will remember this favor of yours. Once I finish off this bastard, I will even be willing to share the 9 Serene deep-ground python tribe with you in the future. Yao Ming's eyes landed on Xiaoyan before he suddenly bowed to him. His deep voice contained a great amount of gratitude. If Xiaoyan had not rescued him from the spring, provided him with medicinal pills, and blocked these two for such a long time, he would likely have ended up dying with hatred today. How much of your strength have you recovered? Xiaoyan smiled and inquired. 60%. However, it is more than enough to finish off Yao Xiaotian. Yao Ming loudly laughed. In that case, leave the first elder to me. You should properly settle the debt between the both of you. Xiaoyan faintly laughed. Yao Ming nodded. He did not say anything unnecessary as he turned around. His dark and vicious eyes locked onto the pale-looking Yao Xiaotian. He stepped through the air and slowly walked toward Yao Xiaotian. My good brother, today, allow me to return all the bitterness I have felt these hundreds of years to you. Yao Ming appeared in front of Yao Xiaotian within a couple of flashes. A ferocious expression slowly rose onto his face. Xiaoyan's body moved, and he appeared in front of that first elder after Yao Ming acted. He grinned at the first elder, but the first elder felt his entire body turn cold when he noticed that smile. He understood that everything had already been decided.
Bang!
Xiaoyan's punch collided with the smelly, dense black doqi palm wind of the first elder. A hot fire seedling suddenly leaped forward and vaporized that lethal poisonous wisp. The powerful force also caused the first elder to stagger back. The blood within his body even began to churn. The heavenly flame's strength caused him to feel a little terrible. First elder, you should just surrender. You cannot defeat me. Yao Xiaotian will definitely be defeated by Yao Ming within 10 exchanges. Once he becomes free, your fate will likely be quite terrible. The golden light giant that Xiaoyan had transformed into looked down at the first elder a short distance away and laughed. The first elder's face twitched upon hearing this suggestion. His peripheral vision swept over Yao Xiaoyan's battleground. His heart slightly sank. At this moment, Yao Xiaotian had been suppressed by Yao Ming until he did not have the ability to retaliate. From the looks of this miserable fight, it was obvious that Yao Xiaotian would not be able to last for long. Bastard! All these years of effort have come to naught. The first elder felt a fury and dissatisfaction within his heart. He had originally thought that they had already suppressed the 9 Serene deep-ground python tribe until it was under their control. However, the harsh reality told them that this control was an illusion. Once they met with danger, this so-called control became a joke. My good brother, you have made so little progress after so many years. You have really disappointed me. A cold laugh suddenly sounded from a short distance away, while this furious thought lingered within the first elder's heart. A shockingly loud sound appeared, and soon after, Yao Xiaoyan screamed. Has he been defeated? The first elder's heart pounded after this miserable screech sounded. He hurriedly turned his head, only to see that Yao Xiaotian was lying on the top of a mountain like a dead dog. Over half of the towering mountain had collapsed. The fight between elite Doshengs had easily turned an entire mountain into dust.
Bang!
Yao Ming violently stomped on Yao Xiaoyan's body. A frightening wind erupted from his foot, blasting the huge rocks around into dust. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out of Yao Xiaotian. Fresh blood, and some shattered internal organs were spat out of his mouth again. The eyes of many members of the 9 Serene deep ground python tribe twitched upon seeing this brutal attack. The fight between the two was far too ferocious. Yao Xiaotian appeared extremely miserable, but Yao Ming's body was also covered in blood. Many bloody wounds were present on his body. Blood dripped down from his head, causing his face to appear extremely ferocious. During the fight with Yao Xiaotian, Xiao Ming truly exemplified what it meant to not hold back in a fight. Otherwise, it would have been somewhat impossible for him to finish off a 1-star Do Sheng this quickly. Looks like this Yao Ming does indeed feel a monstrous hatred for Yao Xiaotian. All of his strikes were extremely ruthless. Xiao Yin was a little speechless after seeing Yao Ming's and Yao Xiaotian's blood-covered bodies. This was really an all-out battle. Big brother, please let me off. Back then, I was tempted by the first elder in committing those beast-like actions. Yao Xiaotian sharily cried out. His vicious face revealed a horrified expression as his heart was being stepped on by Yao Ming. Are you only aware that I am your elder brother now? The bitterness I have suffered during these few hundred years has all been thanks to you. Yao Ming's voice was dense. He slowly lowered his body and his hand rubbed Yao Xiaotian's head. That blood-covered face suddenly revealed a gentleness. Back then, I truly regarded you as a brother. If you had not betrayed me, the position of tribal chief would have been yours sooner or later. You got to enjoy all the good things since you were young. You can forget about having a good life if you kill me. Yao Xiaotian trembled as he sensed Yao Ming's touch. He could sense the murderous desire in Yao Ming's heart. Soon a savage expression flashed over Yao Xiaotian's eyes. Yao Ming's eyes turned dark and cold as Yao Xiaotian was about to circulate his Do Qi to explode his body. Yao Ming's hand was like a sharp blade, as it was ruthlessly inserted into Yao Xiaotian's head. Fresh blood came spluttering out along with Yao Xiaotian's brain.
Bang!
Yao Ming was without expression as his hand was inserted into Yao Xiaotian's head, after which he slowly withdrew it. There was a round black, fist-sized bead in his hands. The bead was smooth as a black fog vaguely flowed within it. It agglomerated into a screeching face, which resembled Yao Xiaotian. All the 9 Serene deep ground pythons in the area looked at that mountain. They could sense Yao Xiaotian's aura and the ripple from his blood completely vanish from this world. The expressions of those who were fighting some of the older elders also paled at this moment. Their bodies trembled. None of them dared to move. Grief flashed across Yao Ming's eyes as he held that black bead. His heart did not feel much joy despite having taken his revenge. Brothers killing each other was perhaps the most tragic scene in the world. Gulp. The first elder in the sky slowly swallowed his saliva. He had not expected Yao Ming to be this ruthless. Yao Ming did not give Yao Xiaotian a chance to survive. Even Yao Xiaotian's monster core was forcefully extracted by Yao Ming. Clearly, Yao Ming did not wish to give Yao Xiaotian a chance to make a comeback. Xiao Yin looked at Yao Ming, who was standing still beside Yao Xiaotian's corpse. He did not say anything to disturb Yao Ming. Xiao Yin also had brothers. Hence, he also understood just what kind of pain he would end up feeling in his heart if he had to attack Xiao Ding or Xiao Li. Although Yao Xiaotian was the first to betray Yao Ming, the both of them still shared the same blood. First Elder, it is your turn next. Yao Ming let out a long sigh as he looked at the sky. He waved his sleeve and stored away Yao Xiaotian's corpse, after which he lifted his head with a ferocious expression, looked at the First Elder, and spoke in a dense voice. The First Elder trembled after seeing Yao Ming's extremely ferocious eyes. He understood that his fate would undoubtedly be many times more miserable than Yao Zisoshin if he landed in Yao Ming's hands.
Demon Snake Sky Explosion.
The gaze of the First Elder swiftly swept over Yao Ming and Xiao Yin. He suddenly clenched his teeth. Both of his hands rapidly formed a strang hand seal. Then, His body swelled and his skin rapidly wiggled. It seemed as though something was about to break out of his body. Xiao Yin knit his brow upon seeing this. He quickly stepped back, feeling somewhat uneasy. He actually dares to self-destruct. Yao Ming was also startled by the first elder's decisive decision. His body also quickly pulled back.
Bang!
The body of the first elder finally exploded in an earth-shaking manner while Xiao Yin and Yao Ming were hurrying away. A frightening energy instantly flattened the mountains within a 10,000-foot radius.
Kiki.
Numerous black energy snakes rushed out in all directions when this assault of energy was unleashed. These black snakes swiftly vanished upon contact with the ground. He did not self-destruct. This old fellow is really cunning. He abandoned his physical body and hid his monster core in an avatar. Surprise flashed across Xiao Yan's heart as he observed these snakes. This old man was really decisive. Having lost his physical body, his strength would greatly decline. There was no telling how long it would take for him to recover to his peak. Humph, this old ghost has been let off too easy. The energy assault slowly disappeared. Yao Ming's body flashed and appeared beside Xiao Yin. He issued a command to the members of the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python tribe. Conduct a search within 5,000 kilometers. We must find that old ghost. Understood. Some elders hurriedly and respectfully replied after hearing this command. Yao Ming had boasted a strong prestige within the 9 Serene Deep Ground Python tribe. Although he had been missing for hundreds of years, his ferocity and might when killing Yao Xiaotian earlier was sufficient to frighten all the members of the tribe. Congratulations to Tribal Chief in regaining your position. We will definitely pledge our loyalty until we die. Those extremely senior elders swiftly stepped forward and respectfully pledged themselves to Yao Ming. All elders, thank you for your hard work. The matters within the tribe will be handled by all of you. There is no need to leave those who ought not to remain, Yao Ming spoke in a faint voice. If he wished to regain authority, he needed to purge Yao Xiaoyan's cronies. Otherwise, they bring trouble sooner or later. Understood. Those elders respectfully replied upon hearing these orders. Xiao Yin watched Yao Ming settle the matters within the tribe in an orderly fashion, causing him to nod. Although this person had been sealed for many years, his demeanor had not faltered. The tribe would become powerful if given time to develop. Swoosh! Kai Lin's group flew out of the deep abyss as Xiao Yin ceased activating the King Kong glass body. Finally, they floated beside him. They had not been able to intervene in the battle earlier. Hence, they did not reveal themselves. Brother Xiao Yin, thank you for lending a hand this time around. Yao Ming turned around. Jie cupped his hands to Xiao Yin and respectfully thanked him after issuing some instructions. Xiao Yin grinned and waved his hand. Brother Xiao Yin, there is no way for me to repay this great favor of yours. Nevertheless, I must still repay you. Haha, do not rush to reject my offer. I think that you will be interested in the reward I speak of, Yao Ming mused for a moment before he laughed and spoke. Oh. Xiao Yin lifted his brows slightly. I wonder if Brother Xiao Yin has heard of the demon saint, Shang, Huangquan, Spring? Yao Ming smiled and asked, Demon Saint Huangquan? Xiao Yin was startled. His expression finally varied. That demon Saint Huangquan, who once had half a foot in the Dodi class during ancient times?